Good evening, everyone. This is Coach Linda Hillman, and I'm coming to you with 100 days of purpose. And today we're going to talk about the counterfeit. Um, Many times we get wrapped up in the first thing that comes along, and or we settle for what we think we can have. And when you are expecting and hoping for more, it's easy to lose and become, it's easy to lose hope and become discouraged. And the first thing that knocks on your door, the first thing, opportunity that comes along to say, okay, this must be what I've been waiting for and jump into it. But it's a counterfeit. It's not everything that you desire it to be. It's not everything that you need it to be. It's not everything that was promised to you. But we accept it because that's all we think that we're good enough for, and or we don't want to wait any longer. And I don't want you to get caught up in the counterfeit. I don't want you to get caught up in living an alternate life. And what I mean by alternate life is not living the way that you were created to live, not living the way you were designed to live, thinking that because it's a little bit too hard, or it's taken a little bit too long, or it's never been done before. We tell ourselves all of these things, and people will tell us, who do you think you are doing this? Or who do you think you are trying to start a business? Who do you think you are trying to pastor a church? Who do you think you are? I don't even like you. You can't preach. You can't do. People will say all kinds of things, and it will cause us to take an alternate route or an alternative route. And we cannot do that. Not if we're going to be people of purpose, not if we're going to have a sense of direction and attain everything that we are supposed to attain. And there's a scripture in the Bible, it's talking about the rich young ruler. And we know the story. He goes to Jesus and he says, what do I have to do to be saved? And Jesus tells him, follow the commandments. He's like, well, I've been doing that since I was born. And, what else is there? And Jesus says, sell all that you have and give it to the poor and come follow me. And the Bible says that he walks away with his head held down. And, he's just kind of like, man, I was expecting him to not say that. And he walked away. And a few verses down, and we never go down this far to read it, but Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he tells them, he's because they ask him, they're like, well, who can be saved? If you told him to do this, and who can be saved? Is there hope for any of us? And so they have this conversation, and Peter says, well, we have sold houses and lands. We've done everything that you have said, and we have followed you. So, what more is there? And Jesus tells them something very profound. He says that when you are obedient, when you follow through, when you do the tough thing, when you do, and I'm paraphrasing it, you can go and read it for yourself. But he's like, when you do these things and you do it with the right mindset, you do it with the hope that I'm going to be whatever it is that I'm supposed to be. I'm going to do whatever it is that I'm supposed to do. The plans that God has for me is going to be fulfilled in my life. When you do it with that type of degree of determination, he says that he would have had more than he gave up. Catch this, because I'm talking about counterfeit, right? He said he would have more. If he would have done it, he would have had more in this life than he gave up. And so he settled for the counterfeit because he had riches and he didn't want to give those up, because he felt like, you're telling me to give up everything that I know, give up everything that has got me comfortable, give up everything that makes me happy. You want me to give that up and follow you, and then what? then I live house to house, rock to rock, because Jesus said, he told someone else, he's like, I don't even have a place to lay my own head. And so he was looking at that and saying, that's not the type of life that I want to live. I see these people that are doing these great things, but, I don't want to go through the journey of what they had to go through to get there. I don't want to go through that. I just want it now. We're in a microwave generation. We want everything right now, right now, right now. We want gratification and satisfaction right now. And sometimes that's not the course of the day. Sometimes that's not how it happens. And you've got to be willing to say, I will not settle for the counterfeit. I will not settle for the counterfeit. I'm going to be who God says that I'm going to be. I'm going to do the great things that I'm supposed to do. I'm going to reach the people that I was assigned to reach, whether I'm Christian or not, because I'm not just talking about doing ministry. I'm not just talking about, starting a business. I'm not just talking about getting married. I'm not just talking about having kids. I'm not just talking about buying the house and the car. No, I'm talking beyond that. See, we got to get beyond that. If we're going to be people of purpose, we got to get beyond that. That stuff will come. That stuff will happen. It will attract itself to you. It will gravitate to you. You don't even have to fuss, argue, or fight for it. You can just go out and live your life, a life of purpose, and you would start to see the manifestation of things that you never thought you could have. You never thought you would have. You can get the education. You can get the family. You can get the house and the car. All of that stuff comes with it. But the gratification and the satisfaction comes from not settling for the counterfeit and not settling for what you think you can have, but settling for what is yours. Wait for the real deal. Wait for the real deal. People ask me all the time, well, Linda, you're a pretty girl. Why didn't you get married? There must be something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. Mm-mm. There's nothing wrong with me. The reason why I'm not married right now is because the right one hasn't come. And I decided long ago that I'm not going to settle for the okie doke. I'm not going to just get married so I can have some warm thighs in my bed. I'm not going to just get married so I can have sex. I'm not going to just get married because that's the thing to do. I want to get married for destiny. I want to get married for purpose. I want to get married for kingdom advancement. And that means I can't settle for the counterfeit. I can't settle for the good looking guy that comes and says, oh, you're so beautiful, and says all the right things in my ear. Because my husband is going to say more than the right things in my ear. And when he comes and I get married, all y'all that think, oh, well, she never gonna get married, she never da. Y'all gonna have to eat y'all words. Y'all out there running your mouth, talking crazy. Y'all gonna have to eat y'all words, because it's gonna be purposeful. It's gonna be strategic, and it's gonna be intentional. And that day is going to be a celebration like none other. But I'm not settling. I'm not settling for the counterfeit. God knew I never wanted to get divorced. And if I would have married any of the guys that have been in my life up till now, that would have happened, because they were not the one. They weren't the one that was handpicked by God to usher me into my destiny. They wouldn't be able to handle what God had in store for me. So I didn't settle. And I'm not ashamed about it. You can think something is wrong with me. You can think people don't want me. Da 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 da. You can think whatever you want. I know what's right. I didn't settle for the counterfeit in my love life, and I'm not settling for the counterfeit in any other part of my life. The counterfeit does not last like the real thing. I can get me a cubic zirconia, or I can get me a diamond. I want the diamond. That's all I'm saying. Don't settle for the counterfeit. Don't settle for what you think you deserve. Oh, it looks good. It smells good. It walks good. It talks good. This must be it. But it's missing this, 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 and this. That's counterfeit. You know how they teach people that deal with money how to recognize counterfeit money? They have them only deal with real money. So they know the weight of the real money. They know the feel of the real money. They know the smell of the real money. They know everything there is to know about the real money. So when counterfeit gets put in their hand, they know this ain't right. This ain't right. It's too short. It's too tall. The paper's not right. The ink's not right. They have studied the real so well that any counterfeit, I don't care, the best counterfeit doesn't get past them. But you have settled for the counterfeit. You've got the knockoff and you're living your life. And everybody else can see that's not a real Michael Kors purse. That's not a real Coach. That's not a real Louis Vuitton shoe. They see it. And you think you're fooling people with the counterfeit. You're not. You're not. So don't settle. There's no homework today. I just want you to make up in your mind that you're not going to settle for the counterfeit. You're going to go all the way and you're going to become who you're supposed to become. And you're going to do it with all the zeal and zest you have in your life. And you are not going to settle for second best because there's only one first place. Everything else is a loser. Remember that. I'm Coach Linda. And as I always say, I'm out.